Tonight, the catastrophic warning. Hurricane Melissa, now a historic and deadly Category 5 hurricane. The monster storm now projected to be the strongest hurricane to ever hit Jamaica. Melissa set to plow into the island tomorrow morning with life-threatening winds up to 175 miles per hour, as much as 40 inches of rain to swamp areas. The satellite video showing lightning firing off from Melissa's eye. The mandatory evacuations tonight as residents and American tourists race to safety. Our team live from Jamaica. Back in the U.S., a possible tornado tearing through parts of Florida's panhandle. Powerful winds ripping this hotel roof completely off, slamming into a nearby RV park, while heavy rains flood portions of the state's east coast. Also breaking, the workplace shooting that killed 2 in Tennessee. SWAT teams closing in on the suspect. The alleged murder plot posted on TikTok targeting Attorney General Pam Bondi. The suspect offering $45,000 for her, quote, dead or alive. The new release date for Sean Diddy Combs, when he's set to walk out of prison. Amazon reportedly expected to lay off as many as 30,000 people as early as tomorrow. The emergency slide deployed by accident, how the mistake cost more than just passenger delays. And my exclusive interview, will soccer's biggest star play in next year's World Cup? Lionel Messi, one-on-one with his most revealing answer yet. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. A monster, life-threatening storm, the most powerful we've seen in the Atlantic this year, is now just hours away from slamming directly into the island nation of Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa is now a Cat 5, the strongest rating possible. The time to evacuate that island is over. Now, residents and stranded tourists, many of them Americans, will have to face this storm and possible days, if not weeks, of misery to follow. And here's why. Officials warn it will be catastrophic. You can see the sheer size of the hurricane from space. And we got this up-close view of a near perfectly shaped eye wall. Look at that. Another Hurricane Hunter plane forced to turn back. The storm too dangerous to fly into. Its path has it slamming into Jamaica tomorrow morning before charging straight for Cuba. Forecasters warn it will bring destructive winds, monstrous storm surge, and catastrophic rainfall. More than 3 feet in parts, which could knock out electricity, roads, and clean water for weeks. Officials warn they cannot overstate the dangers in the next day and beyond. We begin tonight with our team and George Solis in the storm's path in Jamaica. George, it's just starting to pick up where you are.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. The sky's looking a lot more ominous. The rain coming down at a good clip and the winds picking up, and that is only expected to intensify. Officials urging everyone to hunker down and stay off the roads as we are just hours away from this potentially historic landfall. Tonight, Hurricane Melissa on a collision course with Jamaica. Outer bands of the monster Category 5 storm roaring ashore.
We are real worried because it might just rip the whole place apart.
The island is bracing for dangerous winds up to 175 miles an hour, 30 to 40 inches of rain, and life-threatening storm surge. Officials warning flash floods and landslides could be catastrophic, and power outages may last weeks or even months. A dose of heavy wind and rain expected to pummel the island. Low-lying areas expected to flood, and infrastructure is expected to suffer. This stunning satellite image captured lightning flashes inside Melissa's eye wall. But the storm is so powerful, a NOAA hurricane hunting aircraft reportedly had to turn back. If Melissa makes landfall as a Category 5, it will be the strongest hurricane ever in Jamaica.
What is the message to the island?
This is as strong and serious a storm as we've ever contemplated. Now is not the time to panic, but it is the time to complete your plans and preparations.
Many tourists staying at resorts that dot the coastline race to get out before the airports closed. But American honeymooners Kyle Peel and Kelsey Helotke decided to ride out the storm at their hotel.
We have all the supplies we need, and we have plenty of money in the bank account in case we get stuck here for a little longer than expected.
The slow-moving storm has claimed at least 4 lives in the Dominican Republic and Haiti. Now high-risk neighborhoods in Jamaica are under mandatory evacuation orders, though officials say some are refusing to leave.
If you're smart, we can work together. If you are not, unfortunately, you will pay the consequences.
George joins us again live tonight. And George, Jamaica is likely going to need a lot of help after this storm, but getting aid in may be challenging.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. That's because one of the airports here in Kingston is barely above sea level. It is there off in the distance, and that's not all. The roads and the infrastructure here could be an absolute mess once Melissa passes. Tom?
All right, George Solis tonight. George, you and the team, please stay safe. Bill Cairns joins us now. Bill, I'm just looking at these stats here. 175-mile-per-hour winds, as much as 40 inches of rain. We've covered a lot of these hurricanes. This one's going to be devastating.
Tom, I'm getting more concerned with western portions of Jamaica because this storm is heading there in roughly 12 to 18 hours as a powerful Category 5. It's going to move relatively quickly over the island, but the eye itself may go near a big population center. That's what's changed a little bit today. It's getting closer to Montego Bay, 100,000 people plus who knows how many tourists are still remaining to try to ride out this storm. Then we're going to take the storm tomorrow night after midnight into areas of Cuba. So what does this mean for Jamaica? Well, when the eye comes on shore, we will have gusts easily above 100 miles per hour, maybe in some cases up to 140, 150. That'll be almost like a huge tornado going wherever that eye travels through the island. And then rainfall, just because Kingston isn't going to get the high winds, look how much rainfall we're predicting even on the eastern end of the island. Tom, we're going to have major problems with infrastructure island-wide.
40 inches of rain. All right, Bill, we'll stay monitoring it. And in Florida, a possible tornado ripped through parts of the panhandle as thunderstorms brought flash flooding across other parts of the state. Aaron Gilchrist is on the ground tonight for us.
Heavy rain and strong wind pummeling Florida's panhandle. The powerful storm ripping parts of the roof off this hotel in Mexico Beach before dawn, sending it careening into a mobile home park across the street.
With the power lines down and RVs on their sides, it could have been an awful lot worse.
This couple from Athens, Georgia, tossed around inside their RV as it flipped. Rescuers had to rip out the windshield to save them.
I said, we're going over, and we just went. This is the first time I've ever been like flipped over and messed with like this. Yeah, Mother Nature got mad at me for something.
Craig Wilbanks needed 4 stitches in his head. The possible tornado also sent 2 other people to the hospital. A cluster of thunderstorms dropping more than 14 inches of rain in some parts of Florida, a major road collapse in Mount Dora, and dangerous flash flooding in Titusville. Staff at the Space Coast Executive Jet Center forced to move this plane to higher ground. A van nearly colliding with this fire engine.
I've never seen one of these spots before.
Off Louisiana's coast, look at this funnel cloud and a second forming right beside it. In Mississippi, an EF1 tornado carving a path of destruction, sending debris flying near this restaurant. Back in Mexico Beach, Florida, drivers battling a deluge driven by ferocious wind, the remains of homes and debris strewn across streets.
I was very, very scared. I thought that this could be it.
Aaron Gilchrist joins us now live from Mexico Beach. Aaron, tough to tell what that is even there behind you.
Well, Tom, you're looking at the roof of the hotel across the street that was ripped off and thrown across the highway here. Other parts of the roof landed on some of the RVs that are parked in this park. The fire chief talked to me and he said that he was amazed and frankly grateful that the 3 people who went to the hospital only had minor injuries. Tom?
All right, Aaron Gilchrist for us. Aaron, thank you. Now to that nightmare inside a plastics plant in Tennessee. Police say an employee opened fire, killing 2 of his supervisors, and then barricaded himself in a home. Here's Emily Aketa.
Tonight, police in Tennessee at a plastics plant following another horrific case of workplace violence.
Caller said that somebody ran out of this residence screaming, saying that somebody was shot.
Investigators say an employee at Barku Plastics shot and killed 2 of his supervisors shortly after 10 a.m. today.
The suspect, who what we understand is an employee there who was probably in a meeting with his supervisors at that time.
Police say the suspect, who they have not named, then sped off and barricaded himself about 20 minutes away in what's believed to be his home in Bradley County.
This is actually Bradley County Sheriff's Office.
Cleveland Police Captain Evie West showing the neighborhood where dozens of officers from the local and federal level have descended, trying to coax him out. But they ultimately found the apparent suspect with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Tonight, investigators working to notify the victims' families, including a child who was at school when the nightmare unfolded.
You've got families and daughters and, wives and people that love these people that were shot and killed at a place of business. And you think, who would have thought this is the place of business that they go every day.
Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
Okay, now to President Trump's high-stakes trip to Asia, including his expected face-to-face meeting with China's leader. Garrett Hake is in Japan for us tonight. And Garrett, expectations for that meeting have already sparked a rally setting new highs on Wall Street.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all hitting record highs today, driven by optimism that President Trump and China's President Xi will strike a deal on tariffs and trade when they meet on Thursday. American and Chinese negotiators have both spoken positively about a framework agreement that could involve lower tariffs and more Chinese purchasing of U.S. farm products like soybeans. Comes as President Trump begins a full day of meetings here in Japan after briefly greeting the emperor upon arriving in Tokyo last night. Today, he's set to hash out finer points of a trade agreement with Japan, including Japanese investments in the U.S., as well as purchases of U.S.-made cars and trucks. Tom?
Garrett Hake from Tokyo tonight. Garrett, thank you. Back here at home, the FBI arresting a man after a disturbing threat targeting Attorney General Pam Bondi, the suspect in a TikTok post offering $45,000 to have her killed. Here's Kelly O'Donnell.
Tonight, a disturbing new threat discovered by a scrolling TikTok user. A post that offered tens of thousands of dollars to kill Attorney General Pam Bondi. A 29-year-old Minnesota man, Tyler Maxon Avalos, now faces one federal charge for transmitting that threat that investigators tracked on social media. According to the FBI, a TikTok post linked to Avalos read in part, "Wanted Pam Bondi, preferably dead," and refer to a reward of $45,000. Court documents include an image which we are not showing with a photo of Bondi with a sniper scope red dot on Bondi's forehead. TikTok, Google, and Comcast, parent company of NBC, helped the FBI trace the suspect according to the affidavit, which also states Avalos has a criminal history, convicted of stalking and domestic battery. Bondi declined comment, but has pledged the DOJ will root out threats in this heated environment.
We cannot allow this political violence to continue any longer.
This suspect was released with a requirement to wear a GPS tracker, and he has not yet entered a plea. And Tom, in a separate case today, the judge overseeing the trial in the political assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk granted the suspect's request so that he can wear civilian clothes, not a jail uniform, for his future court appearances. Tom?
Okay, Kelly, thank you. We are back in a moment with mass layoffs reportedly coming to Amazon. Tens of thousands set to be let go. Plus, new reporting when Sean Diddy Combs could be out of prison. That's next. We're back now with reports of looming layoffs at Amazon. The tech giant plans to announce as many as 30,000 corporate job cuts this week, according to Reuters, citing 3 people familiar with the matter. Amazon did not respond to requests for comment, but that would be roughly 10% of their corporate workforce. It comes as Amazon looks to cut costs and ramp up spending on artificial intelligence. And new insight on when music mogul Sean Diddy Combs could be out of prison. He's serving a 50-month prison sentence for interstate prostitution. Federal inmate records now reveal he's set to be released on May 8th, 2028. Combs has been detained since his arrest in September of last year. His attorneys say they expect to appeal his sentence. Now to Pittsburgh and a costly incident on board a Delta flight. Here's why. The airline says a crew member accidentally deployed an emergency slide while opening the aircraft door at the arrival gate. It forced passengers on the return flight to switch to later flights because of the delay. The mistake likely cost the airline tens of thousands of dollars. And in Illinois, new video of a miraculous roadside rescue. Take a look at this. A Cook County Sheriff's officer springs into action to help a driver choking on the side of the road. He performs the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge the item stuck in the driver's throat. She was able to drive away safely after being seen by paramedics. Incredible. Okay, when we come back, my exclusive with the greatest soccer player on the planet, Lionel Messi. What he said when I asked if he'll play in another World Cup. That's next. Finally, he may be the most well-known athlete in the world. You combine Taylor Swift and LeBron James's followers on Instagram, and he still has more. Lionel Messi may go down as the greatest ever, and he may have one more goal left when it comes to the next World Cup.
Messi on the turn, Messi in a goal!
Anywhere on the planet, no matter what language you speak, one word means great. Just 3 years ago, Lionel Messi held the trophy for Argentina, leading his home country to victory in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. That moment, and this image, becoming one of the most liked photos on Instagram, with more than 74 million likes. He is the biggest soccer star in the world, but rarely gives interviews.
Pleasure to meet you. ¿Cómo está? ¿Todo bien?
Sitting down with us because he may be getting ready to surprise the world.
Take me back when you won in 2022 and you held that trophy up and you were on the shoulders of your teammates. What was going through your mind? Cuando ganaste la Copa Mundial, ¿qué estaba pensando?
Well, everything I went through and everything I did to achieve that, it was the dream of my life. And it all came to mind. Everything I went through to get there. My family, my people, and Argentina.
Messi, who grew up in Rosario, Argentina, was a soccer prodigy, recruited to play in Spain as a teenager, dominating for decades, playing professionally with teams in Barcelona and Paris.
The best number 10 in the world, Lionel Andres Messi!
Then, in 2023, he made a bold move to America, similar to another star of the sport, David Beckham, who helped bring Messi to the States on the team Beckham co-owned, Inter Miami. His first game selling out and ending with this epic goal, Messi winning it all in the final minutes.
Messi! Do you believe in signs? Do you think that was a sign?
Well, I'm of the belief that God always decides and does everything. And at that moment, he had that prepared for me.
And now, with his team in the MLS playoffs, Messi deciding to extend his contract, telling us first why.
Was it a tough decision to make, to say yes?
Honestly, it wasn't. I've always said that I base my decision on how I feel day to day and how I feel physically and mentally to continue playing and to continue being part of this club.
And he still has some unfinished business.
What's tougher, winning a World Cup or getting soccer to be one of the largest, most premier sports in the United States?
Well, I think that growing soccer in the United States is possible. I think it's time to do it.
And soccer will get its biggest opportunity in front of an American audience next summer when the World Cup comes to North America.
I think the United States is going to be spectacular.
It sounds like something the greatest player in the world would not want to miss. Are you going to play in the World Cup?
Well, the truth is that yes, it's something extraordinary to be able to be in a World Cup. And I would like to be there, to feel well and to be an important part of helping my national team if I am there. And I'm going to assess that on a day-to-day basis when I start preseason next year with Inter and see if I can really be 100%. I'm really eager because it's a World Cup. We're coming off winning the last World Cup, and being able to defend it on the field again is spectacular because it's always a dream to play with the national team, especially in official competitions. So hopefully God will allow me to do it once again.
We hope to see him fight for the World Cup. For now, you can watch Messi and all the MLS Cup playoff action on Apple TV. That's Nightly News for this Monday. I'm Tom Llamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.